How should the swing look when you finish your stroke? That's a big issue in today's tennis.
Now let's take a close look at Roger Federer.
Watch how far Roger Federer extends his forearm and how his chin is above his upper arm after the follow-through.
What if I don't want to hit 50 miles an hour? I want to slug that baby and hit 60 or 70 or 80 miles per hour.
Then all you have to do is swing upward at a lower angle. It's fun to experiment with different angles and speeds. But remember, this is all based at having a vertical racket face at the contact point.
You know, if someone's in trouble, how steep can they swing upward and still get the ball over the net? Has any pro ever hit a two-handed forehand?
Sure, the great Pancho Segura had a two-handed forehand and a one-handed backhand. Monica Seles, a former women's champion, had a two-handed forehand and a two-handed backhand.
Notice how Monica goes from low to high, and how her racket face is vertical at impact.
The new thing is to pre-stretch your forearm before swinging. Nowadays, the game is so fast that you need to have a short and compact swing while still maintaining a tremendous amount of power. And by pre-stretching your forearm before making contact, it's the ideal way to still do that.
Hi, I'm tennis coach and researcher Andy Fitzel. You know, I really enjoy working with the junior tennis ambassadors alongside Vic Braden and teaching them the science and physics of tennis. And we do that by using two systems. One is the Dartfish system, which allows us to analyze just regular video, and the second is Dr. Gideon Ariel's APAS system, and that allows us to quantify human movement, and so we can teach the kids very specific information about how the pros hit the ball.
This is called a pre-stretch. Watch Andre Agassi as he pre-stretches his forearm muscles. He does this by allowing his racket to go back while his arm goes forward. Watch this right here. He turns his arm into a rubber band.
A good drill to make sure you extend your follow through, so mark on your upper arm and mark on your chin, and simply make sure that those marks meet for any wrapping around your body, like this.
You know, the famous brain typist John Neenagel tells us there's a particular brain type that has great difficulty in following the ball late and keeping their head still. They have a tendency to look out early. Is that true?
Intuitive players have a tendency to look to see where their shot has landed, but look up before they've even struck the ball. Remember that your head, inch by inch, weighs more than any other part of your body. Moving your head early can cause your racket to get off course and ruin a potential winner.
You know, players tell me all the time that they tried to follow the ball into the strings, but it's quite difficult. Why?
Most people think that they can follow the ball into the springs, but research has shown that your eyes go past the point of contact and then back, like this.
Don't worry if you can't see the ball clearly as it gets closer to your racket. Eye researchers have shown that the tennis player's eyes move so rapidly on the last 5.5 feet that the hitter becomes legally blind at that point. Vision goes from 20/20 to 2200.
Another cause for poor vision is when the player's foot hits the ground at a force of 3G. The player becomes legally blind. Hard landings jiggle the player's eyes. It's important that one arrives early to the hitting spot so that the eyes can be more effective.
Research has shown us that top players don't stay down with the ball. Their center of gravity rises as the racket swings upward and forward. For men, their center of gravity is located just above the belly button, and for women, it's located just below.
Watch Andre Agassi's center of gravity rise as he hits the forehand.
Here you watch Agassi. When his racket goes up, his center of gravity goes up.
You know, Coach Zoom in Vietnam knows exactly the drill to check to see if your racket and your center of gravity are parallel. She uses 2 rackets. It's pretty clever.
With the ball, but the research shows that the top player in the world, when they play the center of gravity, following the hitting of racket.
It's a common practice for players to hit with their weight only on their back foot. When hitting in this position, the entire body is twisting and places extreme forces on the back foot, leg, thigh, groin, and hip. Watch the amazing champion Rafael Nadal hit off the back foot, but also note that he has missed several tournaments with related injuries. And now watch the former world's #1 ranked player, Guga Kuerten, hit off the back foot. However, he had to retire from tennis due to a hip replacement.
The world has been waiting for a woman pro who will be a net rusher. In the past, Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King were great net rushers. The argument is that the new equipment hits the ball so hard that it is impossible to make it to the net. The real issue is that Navratilova and King hit their pro shots on the run. Today's players stop, hit the ball, wrap around their racket around their neck, and fall a little to the side. To reach the net in this manner, the hitter will have to call a cap to get to the net.
It is a common practice for today's players to wrap their arm around their neck on the forehand follow-through. This movement is called the modern forehand. However, the center of gravity is pulled sideways rather than forward, thus losing many opportunities to get to the net. Remember, in our research, the player who moved through the ball with one center of gravity will normally be 9 feet closer to the net than the wrap around the net player. Watch this demonstration and you will see why the volley has almost disappeared completely in today's tennis. We'd like you to look at a research project of 2 players trying to get to the net. One girl starts with an open stance who has to wait for the ball, and one girl is attacking the ball with the closed stance. You'll see that the player with the closed stance will be 9 feet further towards the net than the open stance player. That's why the volley has almost disappeared for the open stance player.
All pros don't agree on the style of today's tennis. For example, at a recent BNP tournament in California, Novak Djokovic stated that tennis is a baseline game, but Ivan Lubicic stated that his recent success in part is due to his improved net play. Recently, our junior ambassadors studied an adult women's language team. Each junior coach had a specific responsibility.
We're going to be looking at the grip, the backswing that's long, the body coil, the CG lifts, and the backswing early if the racket drops low and the head is still, and that they follow through.